Good day, learners! Welcome to another session of Learning Journey with Dr. Jerry. We are now on the final session of a 5-part series focused on instructional materials. In this series, we aimed to be able to personally explain instructional materials and its importance, examine the different principles in the selection of instructional materials, investigate the types of instructional materials and tools, analyze factors affecting the selection of media for instruction, and lastly, evaluate the selection purpose of instructional materials. And in today's session, we will focus on examining the different principles in the selection of instructional materials. Ready? Let's crush this! But before we delve into this lesson, let's have a short game. 4 picks, 1 word. For 5 seconds, I will project on the screen a set of pictures, and you will guess what is the word that it portrays. Just remember that all the words are related to our previous lessons, and that the pictures are only there to guide you, but it may have a different context. Did you get it? Here is the first picture. The answer is cost. Cost is important in selecting instructional material. As a facilitator, you need to consider the price in buying a new one or if you have the time to modify the new one. Next picture. It is interest. Why is interest important? Right, you need to consider your students' interests. Our instructional materials should stimulate curiosity or satisfy the learner's need to know. Here is the third picture. It is feedback. You should provide instructional materials that alleviate interaction among your students. Learners should not be mere spectators, but should be active participants. The last one. Yes, the last one is model. In the absence of realia, just like what we learned last time, we can use models. Congratulations for those who got the 4 correct answers. But for the rest who took the time to answer and got fewer correct answers, well, you can give yourself a tap on the shoulder and say, "Thanks for participating." Come on, let's do it. Thanks for participating. Moving on. Whenever you are out to purchase food, school supplies, or gadgets, you have a purpose in mind to select only the best quality. The same is true in selecting instructional materials. Here are the purposes on why you should select the best instructional materials. Smith and Nagel said that it is one thing to select a good instructional material. It is another thing to use it well. Using this as a springboard, remember that all instructional materials are aids to instruction. They do not replace the teacher. So, when you utilize IMs, do not let them take over. Do not just let students watch a video presentation for the whole duration of the class thinking that they will learn anyway and then dismiss them. No, no, no. You, as the teacher, should guide learners, and using IMs must help you in doing so. Next is that you should choose the instructional material that best suits your instructional objectives. I have discussed this in the previous presentation, but this is so important that I see the need to re-emphasize it. Remember, we should decide what we want to accomplish first. Then we employ the tools that are most likely to achieve the results. educators, do not let the media that is available to you determine how or what you will teach. Instead, you should know what you will teach and then look for a media that fits that. And if you don't have the original materials in mind, modify the materials at hand. Be creative and proactive. If possible, use variety of tools as well. Using videos, computers, overheads, and the chalkboards do not only keep students' interest, but also responds to the needs of those who receive information in different ways. Students have different intelligence as per Howard Gardner, and those instructional materials should touch those intelligences. And this is just a reminder. Whatever materials you have chosen, check them out before class starts to be sure that they are working properly. Nothing is more frustrating for you or to the students than to find out that the overhead projector or the LCD, for instance, does not work in the middle of instruction. And just a few tips to ensure readiness. First, learn how to use the instructional material. Before using it, make sure that you know how to manipulate it to obtain the desired output with that product. And if you plan to make the students listen to the record or view a film, do it first. You don't want to be caught off guard by inappropriate scenes or sounds. Also, in using models or doing demonstrations, you may want to check the correct size and complete parts of real objects, photographs, or models that you will be using and you will be presenting. So, just a quick recap on the purpose. First, I am should aid instructions but not to replace the teacher. And second, I am should help in meeting the learner's objectives. And third and the last, I ams should build a better learning environment. But how can we do that? We can arrange the chairs, tables, equipment, and materials. We can also provide sufficient lighting and ventilation. Come to think of it, will you be focused if the room is too hot or if there are not enough tables or chairs? I doubt it. Explain also the learning objective of the lesson. Students must understand why they are using the materials or why they are engaged in the activity. Also, we must stress what is to be watched or listened carefully. Give the keywords that they will find in the video or let them carefully watch a certain scenario where they can find the question that you've just asked. We must also inform learners what they will be expected to do with the information that they will learn. We can tell them ahead of time that there will be a discussion or that a test may follow. By doing so, you will find out who are really actively engaged in using, listening, or watching the materials you've provided. Lastly, there is a need to summarize or review learning experiences. Prepare measures that can assess their gains based on the objectives. You can ask them to do skit, dramatize, make an acoustic, or sing to a song related to the topic as a summary of what they have learned. Yes, it is our duty as a facilitator to always conclude a lesson. Remember, teaching is a total package. It is true because the teacher is the one who manages the classroom, and the teacher is the best teaching material. As the saying goes, you are the captain of your mind and the master of your spirit. The teacher is the captain of the classroom, and it comes with quality, molding students' minds to become capable and autonomous individuals. Because of proving strong reviews and improving the students' ability by cultivating their minds for the possibility of life, he is called the master of the classroom. It is also a major consideration for students to use methods or approaches that are flexible to make teaching effective and informative so they can develop trust and learn the subject matter. Just remember, no instructional material, how superior, how expensive it is, it doesn't matter. Nothing can take the place of an effective teacher. Thank you for joining me once again. We have just completed a 5-part series focused on instructional planning. So please don't forget to hit like and subscribe so that you will be updated when the next video is uploaded. Thank you for joining me and see you again on our next learning journey with Dr. Jerry.